Hello, boys and girls. This week we're going to be practicing reading, writing, ordering, and comparing decimals. And as you can see, here's how we could write it on a place value chart. This is how we write it with words, 85 and 64 hundredths. And then this is how it looks on the place value chart, and then written in expanded form. The 3's in the hundreds, 1's in the tens, 7 in the ones, plus 2 tenths and 9 hundredths. Okay. This week we will be practicing reading, writing, ordering, and comparing place value of decimals to the thousandth using base 10 numerals, number names, and expanded form. We also will be comparing two decimals to the thousandth based on the meaning of the digit in each place using the greater than, less than, equals to signs. And we will use our understanding of place value to round decimals to any place. Okay. I want you to pause the video, and in your notebook I want you to write what you notice and wonder. Okay. All right. Now I have a different picture that I want you to notice and wonder. I want you to notice what are some of the differences, what are some of the similarities between the first picture and the second. Pause the video and write down what are your notices, what are your wonders. Okay, so last week we learned that a digit in one place represents 10 times as much as it represents in the place to its right, and 1/10 of what is represented in the place to its left when we're looking at a place value chart. Okay. Today I'm going to show you how to read, write, order, and compare decimals. Okay. Let's consider this situation. Jack has 1 4/10 liters of water for his science project. Amanda has 1 25 hundredths liters of water for her science project. Which student has more water? Okay, so if I pull out my base 10 blocks, you are used to seeing these flats as 100. But when we do decimals, as you saw in the previous pictures, you will notice that this flat now represents the number 1. The rods represent tenths. So here Jack has 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tenths. Amanda has 1 and 2 tenths, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundredths. So we would read this as 25 hundredths. Okay, so if we had to compare them, both of them have 1. Jack has 4 tenths. Amanda has 2 tenths, or 25 hundredths. Well, I can look, 4 tenths is more than 2 tenths. Therefore, Jack has more water. Okay, now you're going to try. Or we're going to try this one together. Sydney has 7 6/10 ounces of juice in her cup. Tony has 7 52 hundredths ounces of juice in his cup. Which person has more juice? Well, if we consider what we have here, here's Sydney, here's Tony. Sydney has 7 6/10, and this is how we would write it in word form, 7 6/10. And this is how we would represent it whether we're using, we were drawing the base 10 blocks or we actually had the base 10 blocks. We would have 7 flats and 6 rods. Whereas Tony, he has 7 52/100ths, which means if we write it, we would write the word 7 and, remember that and represents the decimal. So 7 and 52/100ths. Okay, and here are our flats, our 7 flats. Here are our 5 rods, and you can't see it, but there's our 52/100ths. Okay, if we were to put it on a, if we were to put it on a place value chart, we would have 7 and 6/10ths, and then we would put 7 and 52/100ths. We would look in the ones and we would compare those the same numbers. There's not one greater or lesser. Then we will move on to the tenths. So we have 6/10ths and 5/10ths. I always think of this like money. 6/10 means like I have 60 cents or 6 dimes. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay? And then this 5/10ths, just 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So which is more, 60 cents or 50 cents? Yes, 60 cents. And if you just look at it, which is more, 6 or 5? 6. So the answer, who has more? The person who has 7 and 6/10ths, which is Sydney. Okay. All right. And here is another illustration of 7 and 6/10ths. Okay. Here's the last one. I'm going to ask you to pause the video, and here, if you were in the group, you put your answer in the chat. But I want you to write your answer in the notebook. Who had more? So here's the scenario. Katie has 6 and 6/10 ounces of juice in her cup. Liz has 9 and 52/100 ounces of juice in his cup. Which person has more juice? Which person has more juice? Okay. When you finish watching this video, there is an assignment on my eClass page that you can use this video to help you complete that assignment. All right. I hope you understand and know what you're supposed to do.